Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Sakanavavadu, Sakano Punattu, Sakaviryam Karavavahai, Tejasvina Vaditamastu, Mahavit Vishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Namo Bhagavate, Vaivasvataya Mrityave, Brahma Vidyacharya, Nachikedasecha. Now in the mantram is what Bhashyakara adds in the Bhashyam. He is worshipping Om Namo Bhagavate Vaivasvataya Mrityave. He worshipped to the Guru, the Lord of Death. Why? Because he is giving Brahma Vidya, Brahma Vidyacharya. And that is possible only because of Nachiketas. So Nachiketas. So he is praying the Shishya and the Guru. Like when we pray to both Lord Krishna and Arjuna, because without Arjuna asking the question, we wouldn't have got the Bhagavad Gita. So the great gurus and great shishyas are worship worthy. We are going to see the same thing in the Kathopanishad. So we are in the second Valli of the Pradama Adhyaya. Valli means section, second section of the first chapter of Kathopanishad. We have seen up to 6 verses, 6 mantras of the second Valli. Just quickly to recap for you, so that we know where we are starting today. Having asked the boon to Lord of Death about the status of being after the death, because the whole Kathopanishad is anchored around the truth that we all know is death. How to conquer the death, how to be non-afraid of the death, how to see the truth that death is not the end, but in fact, a new beginning. Like a new year, we look forward to new year with the great joy, because you can make new resolutions, new things, new clothing. Same way, death is for a new embodiment, new body, new approach. So you can approach death as a positive transition, but you can only do that if you know the true nature of death. Because the whole life in this world culminates and then circulate around this one single fear. What am I going to be? So Atma Vidya is going to tell us to understand what you are going to be is a lot more trivial and easier if you understand who you really are. Unless you understand who you really are, you will not understand what is the role we play and where we go. That's why the question of Nachiketas looks very naive and simple. What happens to me after death? It's a very simple question. But the Guru is going to translate into a Brahma Vidya. So what he did he offered him a lot of things to make him deviate from this question, because this is not a normal question. Nobody gets up in the morning and say, well, I'm going to think today, what am I going to be after death? Nobody. We don't even think of death. We think death is amangalam. We don't talk about it. Doesn't matter. It's somewhere in the corner. We don't care. Same we treat the God as well. See, For us, it's very convenient to have God as some distant object, distant place. So we don't have Guru Bhakti more, because if Guru is God, we don't see him because he's nearby. He's going to tell us what to do, what not to do, as a nuisance sometimes. But if it is God, he's somewhere far away. That's why we always, human mind wants to know the truth, but not near the truth. But to near the truth, you must have the yogyata. So Yamadharmaraja tested him, Nachiketas. All the tests he passed. He doesn't want the Swarga Logas and everything. Therefore, he decided to teach him the Atma Vidya. But then he got the doubt in his mind. Is he really fit to receive this knowledge? And am I the right teacher? So this is not a samshayam, it is out of vinayam to re-embark on his own appraisal of the disciple and himself. So therefore he makes some few statements. What is on the last 6 mantras? He said, okay, Nachiketas, I know, you know, the whole life of the human beings can be in two paths, Preyas and Shreyas. Preyas is all about attaining sensual pleasures, material pleasures. Therefore, a life of Preyas is called a Pravritti Margam. That means you become prosperous, getting more and more things for you, rightfully, dharmically, righteously. No problem with that. But you lead a life of such a pravritti marga for many, many, many janmas. And every janma you try to achieve something better in your life. But it is a vicious chain. Someday, in some janmas, you start thinking about this. You think about it because of your purva punyas, your parental guidance, your satsangam, whatever the case. You started thinking, well, I like all these pleasures of life, but there is a place for them. I see something beyond that. And when you understand there is something beyond that, and that is the freedom from all this bonding to be eternally free, and we call it moksham. And the desire for moksham is mokshutvam. And when you are looking for that, whatever you do will fall into shreyas. Because when you do the work, when you do the seva, when you teach, when you learn, when you sing, all that is not for any material pleasures, not for earning money, not for earning name, not for earning anything else, but to attain the chitta shuddhi, pure heart, so that you can focus more on the Atma Vichar, that is Shreyas. So Yamadharmaraja said, hey, this Preyas and this Shreyas are two distinct paths. They are two different. You cannot say, I do some Shreyas and straight Preyas. Therefore, we have only one choice. Whatever we do, we make it as a Shreyas. Even the job that you do, the teaching you do, the money you earn, everything, the undercurrent should be, all this is sadhanas to achieve the sadhyam of Atmavritti, Chitta Shuddhi, Tridabhutti. Then he said, well, this Nachiketas, you obviously chosen this path. That's why I'm going to teach you. But I'm going to remind you why so important this knowledge is. And that is very clear because many people in this world, 99.9%, don't even think of Shreyas, they only go for praise. So he talked about them as avivekis. Avivekis means not having viveka. They think they know everything. They think there is no other world other than this. Even though they think other world is there, they think that those worlds are called Shvargas and Brahmalokas and all those wonderful places. So they are going here and there like a blind leading the blind. That he said in the fifth mantra. The last class we concluded in the sixth verse where he said, Na sambaraya pradibadibalam brahmatyandam vittamohena mudham. Ayam loka nasti para idi mani punah punarva vashamat patyate. Brahma says, punar punaha, again and again, vashamana, they come to my trap, my clutch. Who? Those people who, I think he's gone through that in detail. In summary, what we saw, those avivekis he calls into three cases. Balam. Balam means childlike, but is immature. Balam. Pramatyandam. Pramatyandam means indifferent. I'm talking about, for example, Bhagavatam, and you don't care. You are indifferent because you don't have value to it. Those who are indifferent to Atma Vidya, Pramatyandam. Why they are indifferent? Vittamohena. You see, we can very easily even say, look, sir, I don't care about Swargas, logo. I don't care, sir. But this pen, Mont Blanc pen, I can't part with this. Or this iPhone, I cannot part with this. Sometimes we can even sacrifice Vairagyam on Adhishtabalam, but Vitta Mohena. Vitta means what you have, your possessions. So even, the great Acharya, the great Sannyasi will be there and he have his pet bag. His own thing. He has to hold it. So because of that, they got something deluded to them. They don't care about it. And mudam, they don't know. So they think, Ayam loko nasti paraidi mani. Mani means with the mind. Ayam loko nasti para. There is nothing more superior than this world. So they go like that. So we saw him to that last class. Now we go to the next one. He's saying now, Shravanayabi bahubiryo na lapyaha shunvando abhibhavo yamna vityuhu ascharyo vakta kushalo asya lapta ascharyo nyata kushalanusishtaha Shravanayabi bahubiryo na lapyaha. What he's saying is, some of us, Shravanam ya api, Shravanaya api, not even to hear. Shravana means hearing. Bahubihi yaha na lapyaha. Yaha means yaha means that Atma. Bahubihi, many people, na labhyaha. Many people don't even get to hear because they are indifferent, ignorant. They don't want to even hear about Atma. Please, I don't understand. I don't want it. So there is a large part is gone. It doesn't say sarvam, so Bahubi. Therefore, there are some people who does Shravanam, like you and I, we like to hear about this. Then the second line he says, Shrunvandaha abhi bahavaha ayamna vityuhu. Shrunvandaha abhi. Even though we are listening, in this few who listens to, in that bahavaha, in that a majority of them, ayam na vityuhu. Yam na vityuhu. Vityuhu means understand. Na vityuhu. Don't understand. So many people don't even listen to it. And the few who listens, of those who are listening, many don't understand it. Then he says, so he's saying this because of rarity of this. We will see why it is so in a minute. But then he switches. He says, Ascharyo Vakta, Kushalosya Lapta. Ascharyo. Ascharya means, as you know, Ascharyam, wonderful. Vakta means one who says it in the words, the teacher, the preceptors who is actually imparting this knowledge. Ascharyo Vakta. It is wonderful. It's rare. Rare also another meaning. It's very rare to see someone talks about Atma. Someone gives knowledge about Atma. Very rarely you come across all this pravachanam people talk about Ramakatha, Bhagavata Katha, Prahlada Katha, Puranas. Of course, in between there is Atma Jnanam there. But those who talk about the Atma Vidya are very rare. There's also another reason for this one Ascharya, because we're going to see Atma is aprameya. It's beyond comprehension, beyond words. How can somebody come and talk about it that cannot be talked? What it means here is that those who realize the Atma out of compassion, they struggle, they find so many ways to tell you about that. So it is very rare. The third insight is, if somebody has attained this Atma Jnanam, he becomes Brahmanishta, he attained moksha, why does he care about anything else? But there are certain Paramatmas who, having realized the Atma Jnanam, having become a Jivan Mukta, just for Paropakaram, they stay in this world, become very ordinary people like us, and they preach. So that is also rare. So here you can see, Madam Raja is slowly moving towards Guru Sishya. Ascharyo Vakta. Kushalosya Lapta. Kushalam means, generally Kushalam means comfortable, smart. Bhagavan says, Karma Yogam, Karmam Kaushalyam, Kushalam. So doing things very smartly. So when the Acharya teaches like that, Kushilosya Lapta, those who attain that Atma, Lapta means attaining, is very small, very rare. Ascharyam. So teachers are rare. The student who was also rare. That's what it means. Ashcharyo Vakta, Ashcharyo Shishya. Then he says the next line, Ashcharyo Jnata Kushala Anusishta. Kushala Anusishta. Kushala means, again, very rare, very wonderful, very clever. Anusishta. Ashcharyo Jnata. Jnata means one who knows it. Jnanam becomes Jneyam. Jnanam is the truth, the knowing. Jneyam becomes the application of it, assimilation of it, anubhuti. So jnata is one who attained this Atma Jnanam. The Sishya becomes Kushala Anusishta. I mean, if the teacher is one who comes, Anu means continuously, who comes in a Guru Parampara, who teaches it, through which the Sishya becoming Jnata. So a lot of points here. A good teacher is needed, good Sishya is needed. The good Sishya has to follow a good teacher who comes in a parambara. Everything is rare. That's what he's saying. All this is rare. Okay. Na narena varane prokta yesha suvigneyo baguda chintyamanaha ananya prokte gadiratra nasti aniyan yedakyam anupramanat. See, in the last mantra, we saw the Guru is needed. Why it doesn't say Shastra is needed? Because Guru basically talks about Shastra. Shastra is Vedam, Vedantam. Vedantam is what is giving the knowledge. See, when you say that it is in the Vedanta, can I go and buy the books from Gita Press and lots of authors written wonderful books? I read them, read them, read them, read them. I can become master of that by reading it. But I would not get the Atmic Jnanam. Why? Because when you are learning, when you are trying to understand knowledge, what is knowledge for us? Now you know about me, for example. You will say, okay, this man works in this company, he's like this, he's this tall, this height, he writes, sometimes he talks. So what you have done, you analyzed my behavior, my gunas, my nama rupas. So everything that we study in this world, of anything, honestly, we don't study anything. I study about the oceanography, about the oceans and mountains. You are not actually studying the truth of the ocean. You study the form of the ocean. So all our studies are therefore studying the properties of the Vastu. Vastu is the true existence of it. The property of the Vastu is all the Vishayas, which is Nama, Rupa, Guna. Vedas. Contemplate in your mind. Any knowledge that you have is about the gunas of it. And that is where your brain can contemplate. A prameyam is impossible. Prameyam is you need an objective knowledge. That is why when you want to study the God, we chose the convenient path. What is the convenient path? Ishvara is Kalyana Gunaha, Sarva Gunaha, Sakasasisha Purushaka, Sakasrabhasha. So he's got thousands of hairs, thousands of hands. We create the form, we create the name, thousands of names, thousands of Kalyana Gunas. So that is easy. How is Bhagavan Krishna's Adhyaya Guna? I want to study. Wow. Kushalo Bhakyanam, I studied. I can see that. See, I can, when I put a guna to the God, I have something to read. When I have the Swami in this form, 6 hands and 6 faces, Armukha, then I can discuss what is each face is. I can add attributes to it. I can indulge in the kind of intellectual pursuit. So I create all this because our objective knowledge is limited to the properties of things. In fact, we don't study the truth. None of the studies, none of the subjects teach you about the real nature of things. Chemistry, physics, biology, botany, electronics, everything is about studying the properties of matter. Is it not? So all the books are about the property. To say, therefore, Nirguna Brahman is frightening. That's why even some of those acharyas, even though they are Jivan Muktas for our benefit, they said, don't go to Nirguna Brahma, Saguna Brahma is good. Even to the point to argue and say, Shankara was wrong, there is nothing Nirguna Brahma. The truth of the matter is, a guna cannot, if Swami is Kalyana Guna only, that means all good qualities. And why do we say this? Because we want to attain that quality. Because what do you pray, you become that. So why should I think of a God to be an evil God? I want God to be compassionate, fine, Ashtaishwarya Siddhi. Therefore, I attribute all the Kalyana Guna to Swami. So then look at the world. The world is not full of Kalyana Gunas. You have evil there, dirt there, filth there. So how can you therefore separate all this, not God? In fact, this world more evil than the good, isn't it? In our view. So if only goodness is God, what about all the evil things? And they are not God. That means you must have something alternate to God. Then the Abrahamic religions go with the devil and Satan. There's a fight there. And we don't believe in that. God is all pervasive. Therefore, you cannot attribute the guna to the God. We need some sort of understanding how the guna comes in, how the nama rupa comes in. That is why acharyas teach you, you worship God in all forms and all nature. Then after some time, choose an Ishta Devata so that you can ignore all the other forms, Pullayar, Murugan, whatever you want, Ishta Devata. Then you ignore all of things that say the Krishna Nama or Rama Nama, whatever. So you even ignore the form. You see, we are trying to discard the properties of God because too much of properties of the God is too much of hassle because you dwell in a kind of a ritualistic way of worshipping God. So Nama bhajan, Nama Rupam is, Namam is much better than Rupam because, the only reason because it unclutters your mind. Then even the Namam, when you instead of singing a Kirtana, you comes to a Shloka, to a mantra, to a Bijakshara, to the Pranava. Reduce. When you transcend that, you have the eloquence of silence. Because that the only thing we can comprehend that which is beyond Nama Rupa is the space of silence. Now, that means if I am in the space of silence, that means I am uncluttered. I can start looking at the God. Now again, when I try to look at the God, I'm looking for an objective Vishayam. How can I look at the God? So you need, this is where the Guru comes in. The Guru has to be there. Why the Guru needed, we'll understand later. But we need some guidance to take it through. Therefore, the Guru is needed. But who is the Guru? So here it says, Narena Varene Proktayeshaka. Narena means human beings. Narena Varene. Leave the na first for a minute. Narena Varena Proktayeshaka. Yesha means Yeshaka. This Atma, when it is Prokta, when it is taught by Proktaha means one who is teaching, is Narena Avarena. Avarenam means in Sanskrit unqualified, not correctly qualified. Narena means human being. So Narena Avarena means Narena Avarena. Avarena Narena. That means not a qualified person. When this Atma is taught, now you bring that na in the first sentence, second sentence. Na suvigneyo. Suvigneyo. Su means good. Nyaya means understanding. Suvigneyo means very clearly understanding. So na suvigneyo means not clearly understanding. So what are you saying? When the teacher is not qualified and when he teaches the Atma, it cannot be understood. Okay, this is true for any subject, right? Any subject, somebody should know this. But the difference is, I can teach about the harm of smoking cigarettes. No, nobody should smoke cigarette. I can preach very well, but I can be smoking a hell out of it. I can even qualify myself because I smoke, I suffer, therefore I give you my first-hand evidence. So even the differences of your teaching and your practice may even be accepted in a Laukika knowledge. In Atma Jnanam, in Atma Vidya, what you teach has to be what you practice. The Acharya means the Rishi is one who sees things. The Acharya is one who teaches the Rishi's knowledge by living a life of the Rishi. Nobody can be an Acharya. Acharya is one who does what he says others to do. So he says, if he is not qualified, you get a problem. Even though they are sometimes qualified, they are good people, but what they do, they bahuda chintyamanaha. So you can take the eshaha, bahuda chintyamanaha. But you get confusion because Bahuda Chintyamana. In many form, they think about the Atma. Some say Atma is small, Atma is big, Atma is multifold, Atma doesn't exist. It is like your body size. When somebody died, they say Atma Shanti, as if Atma has never had Shanti before. Atma means Shantam. Atma never attained Shanti. Atma is Shanti. But anyway, we say these kind of things. So many conversations, ideas are there in this world. Therefore, it is very difficult to find a good guru. And even if you find a guru and the way he teaches maybe from this Bahuda Chintyamana, what do I do? What I have to do? So he says, the third line, Ananya Prokte Gadir Atra Nasti. Ananya Prokte. Ananya means what? Anya means different, and Anya means not different. You must take the Yesha from the first line. Yesha means Atma. Ananya Yesha. It means that who is different, not different from Atma. Prokte. It means the teacher who is teaching you is no different from the Atma. But two meanings for that. First meaning, that means the teacher has realized Atma. Realized means he becomes, or not becomes, he is in his own being, he is Atma Swarupa himself or herself. In other words, he is Shrotra Brahmanishta. Shrotra means he understands, he realizes as per the Shastra. Brahmanishta, he is always remain in that position of being Atma. It means the teacher should be one who is a Shrotra Brahmanishta. How do we test? We only have to pray that the teacher who teaches us is Shrotra Brahmanishta. Another very insightful meaning, Vashakara doesn't say this, but I think he's indicate this. I dare to say this. Ananya Prokte, it means nothing other than the Atma can teach you. In other words, first interpretation is the teacher is Atma himself, Atma herself, Atma Swarupam, Atmanishta, Brahmanishta. Like Brahmacharya, I see him, Atmanishta. The other meaning is the Atma itself teaches. Please don't, this is a very dangerous interpretation. Here, Atma's literal meaning is a self. Don't take it as self-teaching. No. Our self is, notional self is the manas, jiva bhavam. This is not. The Atma that we really are, can blossom into us. That's very, very rare to happen. Like Bhagavan Ramana. Ramana doesn't have any Guru Parampara. Because Ananya Prokte, that Atma has come. Maybe he had a gurus in the previous Janmas. Maybe he is fully evolved. So therefore, it is possible such a great gurus can come driven by the Atma Prakashan. So when you are fortunate to have a darshan of that guru, and when you are with that satsang of that guru, agadihi atra nasti. You must say prokte gadiratra. It must be agadi. Agadihi atra nasti. Agadi means misconception, poor understanding. Atra, at that place, nasti. So when the great teacher is teaching you, there you will not have any misunderstanding. It will be very clear to you. It is not a objective knowledge. It's not clear in kinds of an object. You become fulfilled. You will realize that you are yourself. Swami, the only thing you should ask Swami is, please give me back to me. It means I all the possessions that comes and go, they come and go anyway. But what doesn't go? My true nature. Give that back to me means, may I realize my true self. If you still have a doubt, well, I can't find all the teachers. The teachers they cannot speak good English. I don't understand Sanskrit. They are rude. They ask me to go through a lot of routines, which I don't like it. But I am an intellectual, so I can take the book. Even Shankara's Bhashyam, I can take it. I can interpret, read it. He wants, no. Aniyan Yedarkyam Anupramanat. Anupramanat. Anu means the subtlest. It's not the science atom. It's much, 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 much smaller than that. Anupramanat Adarkyam hi. This is Atma is subtler than everything else. Why it is subtler than everything else? You must always ask questions in your mind. Why? Why it is subtle? You just cannot accept a statement like that. It is subtle because what did we say about Ishvara? When you have lots of property on Ishvara, Kalyana Gunaga, poor Lord, we just throw on him. Your Mokshika Vagana, Modaka Kasta, Shamala Karana. We create a lot of form and shape. Everything give it to God, and then we worship the God. So if you take away the property, the less property, less gross it is. See, if you look at the earth, it's got a lot of properties. But water has less property than earth. Its water is subtle than earth. Fire is subtler than water. And air is subtler. Space is the subtlest. Why? If you look at it, because they are property less. So the lesser the property, subtler the things become. More your property, more grosser you become, more perishable you are. So when Atma, okay, I talk about God there, but I'm here Atma. So you can see why I'm comparing these two. At some stage, we're going to say, Aham Brahmasmi. It's Advaita Mahavakyam. Many Vedantic teachers, non-Advaita tradition won't accept that one. So we will park that later. We don't worry about that right now. But everybody accepts that I am Atma. Not this body, not the Deham, not the mind. So that Atma is therefore propertyless, nirguna. Therefore, it has to be very subtle. So he says, hey, Nachiketas, you're absolutely right. You cannot have this one reading any book. You need a teacher. Okay. Next one. He says, Naisha Darghena Madhirapaneya Proktanyanaiva Sujnanaya Preshta Yam Tumabha Satyatudirbadasi Twadrunno Bhuyan Nachiketaka Prashta. Here he is now he's going to really prize Nachiketas. Naisha means Na Esha. You take the Esha here. Esha Mati Apaneya. Na goes to the end. Naisha, na Esha, na Esha, na Apaneya. Esha Mati Apaneya. Mati means this knowledge. Esha is this Atma, the Atma Jnana. Na Apaneya. Apaneya means obtaining. Na Apaneya means not obtained. By what? Dargena. By Tarkam, you cannot. Tarkena na Apaneya. By debating, by arguing, you don't attain this knowledge. So, number one. Proktanye naiva. I mean, anyeva. Anyeva prokta eva. Sujnanaya preshta. Preshta means who is a priya, my priya, my dear Nachiketa, preshta. Prokta eva. Prokta means explained by. Eva means only. Only by explained by anyena. Only by explained by somebody else. Sujnanaya. It can be understood. So he's emphasizing the need for. That's the reason why you see Bhagavan Krishna had a guru, Rama had a guru, Shankara had a guru. They all know everything else. Sarvajna Shankara. But you need to really have a guru to point out to you. How do I explain this to you? See, if you want to see your eye sees everything else, right? You say that I see this, I see the picture. But heart of heart, your eye that is seeing that, right? But how do you see your eye? Can I do an argument? I see things, therefore I must have a seeing instrument. Therefore, I must have an eye. That tarka, I may prove I must have an eye, but I can't see the eye. The debate cannot help me out. How can I know? How can I see my eye? Somebody can tell me, oh, you have an eye. You're seeing it, you have an eye. Apta Vakyam. I can believe it. Okay. Balamama is always truthful to me. He says, I have an eye. Therefore, I must have an eye. But still, I don't see it. So, what do I have to do? Very simple answer, right? I have to go and look at the mirror. The mirror, I see my eyes. What is this mirror? The mirror is something which shows who I am really is, who I am really are. I'm talking about a good, clean mirror, right? Not the magical mirror, concave, convex. So this guru is the mirror. The Shastra Vakya is a mirror. So you have to see your eye, the seer in you, the Atma in you. You need a mirror. So you surrender to the mirror. You cannot say, mirror, I won't look at you. No, you have to look at it. You have to go in front of it. Surrender. Otherwise, you cannot see yourself. So a guru is needed, and the guru should be like a darbanam, like a mirror, polished mirror, blemishless, truthful, chitta shuddhi. How to get chitta shuddhi? We have a whole lot of stories. Understand? So, Dharmaraja therefore establishes all that Nachiketas knows. By thinking loud, the Guru is making us know it is fine to think about all these big questions, hard problems in life. What is Atma? What is Ishvara? But if you want to learn about it, if you want to know about it, none of this debate can help you. None of the books can help you. They can only help you to find a satsang where you may find, if you're lucky, a guru, not a guru who has got misunderstanding, not the guru who has got not the true understanding of it, but someone who is a Brahmanishta, who is none other than the Atma himself, Atma itself. Now he says, Yam Tvam Apaka. Tvam means you, Apaka means you got it. Yam means this knowledge. Yesha iti. Yeshamati. This Atma Jnanam, oh Nachiketas, you got it. Not only that, you are Satyat Hridir Bhada. Satya Dhridi. Dhridi means Didam, steadfast. In Satyam, in truth, you got a steadfast focus. Bhada, in truthfully. Badhasi. Asi means you are. Badhasi, you are indeed strong and focused in the truth. You got the knowledge and you are focused. That means you're not only having a knowledge, but you also have the focus to be in that knowledge. He also wants to be a Nishtaha. Therefore, he says, oh Nachiketas, because of that, Dvadrunno Bhuyan Nachiketaka Prashta. Here, Prashta means disciple. Nachiketaka, oh Nachiketas, you are Dvadruk, like you. Naha Bhuyat. No Bhuyat means Naha Bhuyat. The Bhu Shabdam is always to obtain getting. Bhavam, Bhumi, Bhukolam, everything. So what does he say? He's actually pricing himself because he's got a wonderful student like Nachiketas to him. Okay. So what we learn from this is Shastram is important, but Guru is more important than the Shastram. The question in my mind will be there, look, but no, I don't know who is the Guru to go. So should I wait for that Guru who is a Brahmanishta? You can wait. But the wait cannot be a tamasic wait. The wait has to be a rajasic wait. In this case, you actively search and wait. That means you go to everybody, whoever talks, you go. You listen, you listen, you listen. It's like a snooker ball, you know. You directly poke it all the time. Sometimes it goes, hits, and then it goes to the pocket like that. You get refined. In this process, the gurus also learn. Every guru is also a seeker. So Guru Sishya Sambandha is Maha Vaibhavam. From the Guru, the Shishya learns, from Shishya, the Guru learns. That's why we say Sakhana Bhavadu, Sakhana Punattu, Sakhavidyam Karavavare. There's a process that goes in there. And someday this evolution will put you in front of the Guru, the Atma Guru. Because there can be only one Guru in life for anyone. That Guru is the Guru who really shows who you really are. Atma Darshana Guru. But until then, you have lots of gurus, lots of acharyas. Everybody is reverential, everybody is respectful, everybody we need to appreciate, everybody we should surrender. But they themselves will elevate you to go to different places. But you need to have like a billiard ball, you need to wander around. So don't sit for a guru to come. If you take an effort the Guru comes to you. That's the tatparyam of this mantra. We do one more, then we can stop. So now he says, this is very interesting mantra. Amar Raja, looking at this child, magnanimously is saying, Janamyaham Shebadiritti Nityam. Nahyatruva Prapyadehi Dhruvam Tat Tato Maya Nachiketas Agnihi Anityai Praptavan Asmi Nityam. Janami Aham. Oh, Nachiketas. Janami Aham. I know it. How do I know? Shebadihi Anityam iti. You must separate Shebadihi iti Anityam. Shebadi means what you attain from your deeds. That means your karma palas, your papa punyas, your adhishta palas. Anityam iti. I know they are temporal, they are perishable. He's saying, I know this impermanence of this pava punyas and their palas. The second line, Nahyatruvahi prapyatehi dhruvam tat. Na, the first sentence, second sentence, Hyadhruvai, Adhruvai, he Adhruvai. He means it's because Adhruvai means that which perishes. Instruments that are temporal. Because of the temporal instrument, nahi prapyate, you can't attain with the impermanent tools. What? Dhruvam tat. Dhruvam means what is always existing. That is satyam, truth. Tat means that. Dhruvam tat, that truth, that means the Atma, you can't attain through adhruvai, through the instruments of knowledge which are temporal. So all this thing you do, yoga, bhakti, homa, all that cannot give you moksha. This is something which you always have to remember. It's very difficult to say, difficult to accept it. But those who are truthful to the Shankara Bhashyam, Advaita Bhashyam, Advaita Vedantam, have to really remember that Jnanameva Kaivalyam. Only Jnanam alone gives you moksham. Bhakti, Yogam, Kundalini, all these things, Sri Chakra Puja, everything are very good. They give you elevated path. The best they give you is they give you Chitta Shuddhi. Therefore, you attain the toll gate from where there's only a singular path to moksha. There are many paths to attain the toll gate, many paths to attain Chitta Shuddhi. I can do karma seva. I don't need to worship God. I can be purely a good soul, serving others. So don't blame Nastikas as bad people. They chose a lifestyle. But if you do all the good things, your mind becomes purified. I am a Purva Mimamsika. I do Yagyam, Homam, Agnihotram, Trigala Sandhyavandanam, everything I do, Kramam. I may get lots of punyas. I may get Chitta Shuddhi. I do Vishnu Parayanam, Namasingitanam, Chitta Shuddhi. Chandi Homam, Tantric, Kundalini yogas, Chitta Shuddhi. You get all those bonuses, Pava Punyas, properties, good birth, good, everything comes and goes, comes and goes, comes and goes. But all this create Chitta Shuddhi. For there are many paths. People normally say all paths reach to God. Strictly speaking, all paths reach to the divine road to God. To be one with the God, you have to travel this alone path where you really understand who you really are and why you are no different from the God. That is the Atma Jnanam, Atma Vidya. So this is very difficult to accept because Puranas you can interpret moksha. Here he's going to say, for example, he's saying, uh, Tadaha, third line, Tato Maya Nachiketaschido Agni. Tato means Tataha, even though Maya, by me, Nachiketas Agni, Agnihi Chidara. The Nachiketa Agni is what I am telling you now, before it's called just an Agni. I have done it. That means he is telling him, when I was like your age, Nachiketas, what I was doing, Janami, even though I know this is impermanent, I went through this Agni Vidya. I went through this process of doing all these karmas. That's why I'm wearing this big necklace I was trying to give you. The necklace is what? Full of karmas, ornamented karmas. I was doing all that. Why did I know? I don't know why I did this. I was doing all this. Anityaihi, dravyaihi, praptavanasmi nityam. With those anityam, with those temporal means of karmas, anitya draivehi, dravyam of temporal nature, asmi praptava nityam. I become bestowed with this permanent position. He says with the quote, what is this permanent position? As Yamadharma Raja. So what he's saying is, Nachiketas, you are such a wonderful person. You're asking for Atma Vidya. I also know that everything else is impermanent in this world. Atma is Satyam. But yet, I went through this process of doing Agni Vidyas, karmas, everything I did because I want to get punyas, I want to get every logas. As a result, with those anitya dravya, I attained this position. We take two lessons, important lessons. Everything in karmas are truth. Vedam always speaks about Satyam. When you do this karma, you attain this palan. When you do this mantra, you attain this palan. Everything is truth. It will happen for those temporal results. Therefore, if you have Shraddha and if you keep on doing those things, you attain what is being revealed in the Vedas. So I have become that. So I become maybe a Devendra, Kinnara, maybe I was doing all the time. I was given this appointment of Yamadharma Raja. So I am permanent position, we say in the job, like, I remember my child was coming. So I got a job and one is permanent, one is temporary. And so I was just laughing to myself, and what is permanent job? What is permanent? So we say permanent in this world because, we compare it relatively. Oh, I'm in a permanent resident in this country. Can there be anybody permanent resident in this country? No. You say PR because you are relatively permanent to somebody else. So in Vedas and Puranas, all the Amritatvams, Amritam they talk about, they are relative terms. Amritam gives you immortality. No. Amritam gives you mortality. But the duration of your embodiment is much, much, much larger. Like an ant may just come today out of the cave, had 2 days of life, and it's dead. For the ant, I am a Deva because I'm immortal. So, in relative terms, Yamadharma says, look, I have attained this quasi-permanent job of being a Yamadharma Raja by going through. See, this is the beauty of it because we always think, teacher knows everything, Shishya does less. Possibly. It is not the knowledge that differentiates a teacher from the Shishya. It is the anubhuti that's differentiate. That's why Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, who is literally literate in the sense of thing, all those PhDs go there and fall on his feet. It's not a knowledge that's a discriminator, it is the anubhuti of the discriminator. But a guru, when he gets, like Narendranath, when he goes to, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa says once, there's a Chatterjee who comes and sees him, and he's a scholar in multi languages, philosophies, he writes books, and they're all talking very high about Chatterjee, and Ramakrishna Paramahamsa adds, yeah, but this boy is showing Narendranath, he's like the sun, he's like a Surya. Of course, Narendranath got angry and goes away, and then he comes back and abuses his guru. Why are you telling me all this in front of the people? I'm not that. And he doesn't know himself who he is. Guru knows him. Guru knows it's Atma Swarupam is Narendranath. But he is eluded. You see, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa did not let him go. He held on him because a great guru will not let a great Shishya to go away. Because the Shishya is no other than himself. He may give him some trials and tests, but he will have him. So he's very proud of having a disciple like that. So to express that pride that the guru has on the Shishya, like sometimes we tell our children, right? Maybe truthfully we tell them. Children go to the quiz contest and wins the prize and comes back, and you tell her, oh, child, you were very good. In your age, I was completely useless. I was playing cricket, I was not reading it. So that kind of self-deprecation is not really that. It is to really elevate the child that you are wonderful. So here he says, Amadam Raja, you are such a wonderful Viveki, Vairagi, Shraddhavan. I am the one knowing all these things are impermanent, went after this Agni and then got this position. So therefore you are great. So let's stop it here. Sakana Vavatu.
Sakana Vavatu.
Sakanau Punattu.
Sakano
Punattu.
Sakaviryam Karavavahai.
Sahaviryam
Karavavahai.
Karavavahai.
Tejasvinavadidamastu.
Tejasvinavadidamastu.
Tejasvinavaditamastu.
Ma Vitvishavahai.
Ma
Vishavahai.
Vidvishavahai.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om
Om
Shanti
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 Shanti.
Shanti.
Harihi Om Tassate.
Harihi Om Tat Sat.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Raja. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Raja.
Thank you.
Thank you, Raja. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. Thank you.